Right, welcome back, viewers, for another edition of Heads Up. Just like the weather, the goat, it's getting a bit cooler, and so is the racing. But after last week's hot racing at Trentham, you were there, saw you on TV, but the boys get paid bunch, and gee, it looked to be a terrific day.
Yeah, it was a great day racing, Neil. I guess can't avoid the fact the crowd numbers didn't seem to be too great, but it didn't matter where we were up the top there, and good company. And funnily enough, back in a few winners. I tell you what, if Lana Cordetta got up in the Oaks, I would have been very happy. I think those other lads who had big futures bets right on Amaralina wouldn't have been so, but that was a good day. The quality rose to the top really in those black type races, with I think 4 favourites winning out of the 5 races. So no, good days racing. Amaralina just too classy. A few things went against her, but she was just too dominant in the finish. I guess you could say we did get the price right. We said $1.55 was too short. She started about $1.80, $1.85. So
yeah.
If you had it weighted, you would have got a better result than taking the shorts early in the piece. No, good day, I have to say. Neil, you enjoyed your day at Tauranga?
Oh, yeah, it was a good day. I managed to salvage the Punters Club with a place bet on Speechmaker, which I was glad to get because it was a tough day there. But you're just going back to the Oaks. Amaralina, she came home in 33.76, so she was never going to get beaten off that tempo. Just too good. Cheaper than Divorce that most of us were on. She was held up on the turn a wee bit, but I think you're right when you said she's maybe a bit of a gunner. But
she's a gunner. She's a gunner.
Accepted. But no, she came home with the last little bit, but that's no good to us if you're on for a place in a multi. But Tauranga was good racing. It was on pace early, the leading trail, and then but the tempo was a big factor in most races. But there's Baden Bouge, one from the back.
Baden Bouge, rip them up. They both came down the outside to win.
Yeah, that was a good day of racing, but even really good day of racing tomorrow. A couple there I really do like, so I'm looking forward to previewing that. And should we mention this? The league, the Cowboys. We'll just pass on that.
Yeah,
next question.
The day was going very well on Saturday, despite the Hurricanes blowing a 19-point lead, and then the Cowboys just didn't raise a gallop, did they? They were very average, and that was disappointing. So we're back to the drawing board, back to the rugby. We'll give out that tip a bit later in the show, but that's the way it goes.
No, it's punting, racing. No, we just ride the ups and downs. But gee, good day of racing tomorrow at Tauranga. The Japan Trophy is on again. Trophy race is on. Good race, been going a few years now. And Prix de Fer into 250 now. What do you think?
Well, I haven't done the stats, but I'd be very surprised when you see Te Akau horses. I think the market came out, and within 3 minutes, Prix de Fer was 310 into about 270.
Yeah.
When they back their Te Akau horses right at the outset like that, it's normally a very good sign. Opie Blossom. We know this horse. It's probably a Group 2 horse. Might not be quite a Group 1 company. Did run a placing behind Avantage in a Group 1 last season, but I think this is his race. Jamie set the horse for the race. Gets in pretty well at the weight scale. Been set weights and penalties. 250. Probably about the bottom price, but does look a winner to me. But I think you like one at a bit of value, Neil.
Yeah, I thought when I first saw it, I thought, oh yeah, it does look the obvious one. Did the speed maps and everything. And the horses that will go forward are Gino Severini and Packing Rockstar. And I think those two will dictate the pace in front. They won't go too hard. They won't cut each other's throat. And you've got a horse called Vin and Me that won really well at New Plymouth with their racing today. Over 1,800 metres in really good time. Last start over 2,000 at Matamata. Had to drag the whole field up, challenge on the turn, and just really tied the last 150 metres. So I think back to mile is perfect. He's drawn 3. He jumps well. I can see him sitting in behind those two, Packing Rockstar and Gino Severini, in the perfect trail. And he's got to be a decent place chance at 350. I'd be, and Prix de Fer, I think, is drawn to get caught wide, even though Opie's on. they won't be going too hard. And I think he'd have to be at his very best to make sure he gets a decent run on them. So, but I'm picking Venomir
Neil,
plus.
when was the last time Opie Bosson got caught 3 wide in a big race
Well,
like this? He finds ways to slot in.
it was about
Tell you
2001.
now, Frida Fur will not be 3 wide.
Okay.
Chocolate fish.
Chocolate fish. Okay, I reckon he'll be 3 wide at least for the first 50 meters.
Oh,
Into the first bend. Okay. Chocolate fish.
he's got 600 meters to find a slot. He'll find a slot. You got Go Nicholas there too. That will go forward. Yeah, I reckon there'll be enough speed. There'll be enough speed for Opie to slot in. Might be seventh outer. Presents on the turn and gets up by half a length.
Right, I'll be getting the head-on vision from the stewards just to verify that bit too. So, it's going to be a good race. The weather's looking good out in blue skies at Tauranga here, and I think we'll have a decent track and a fair track too. It was pretty fair last week. They were coming out to the centre and down on the fence early on. Yeah, good day of racing. Only 7 races though, but good fields.
Yeah, disappointing to lose a race. The rating 74 2100 only attracted 4 nominations. So
yeah.
It's only 7 races, but as they say, the show will go on. There's lots of activities planned at the track, so I'm sure if you're in the general vicinity, you'll get along. Otherwise, enjoy the action on trackside. And we've got Slipper Day as well, so that will then dovetail into the big Australian racing. So looking forward to that as well.
And you're subbing for me for doing the Punters Club tomorrow. Just want to clarify that. So when you make your millions for the punters on course, they'll know it's not me and it's all your fault.
Well, I think I might engage the services and help of another bloke too by the name of Mark Clayton. So between us, we'll try and come up with something.
Pretty good. I'll better put a few bucks into it then. So
I'll give just a very impromptu tip here. In the Galaxy in Australia, a horse called Hawkbury on Her.
Oh, yep.
Just get on. There you go.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good horse. Really good horse. Yep. Okay. Now, sports selection.
Well, we're going back to the rugby, as I mentioned. Chiefs, Blues. I saw enough in the Chiefs last week, Neil. They won. They've broken their losing streak. I think they might surprise the Blues at home, paying $2.75. But for safety, I think the 6.5 point start that they get, so Chiefs plus 6.5. This is Saturday night, 7:05. Tomorrow, plus 6.5. Let's just double check that price. Still paying $1.90.
Should be
$1.87.
$1.87.
$1.87. Chiefs plus 6.5. I think they'll lift for the Blues, and now that they've got that win under their belts, play with a bit more confidence again, and I can see them staying close. It wouldn't surprise me if they beat the Blues, but we'll take the safety option and have that 6.5 point buffer to hopefully get us over the line.
Sounds good. Okay, now last week's question was a fairly easy one. The question was, I know the answer.
What horse won the 1970?
70? We know the Oaks.
Oh, the Oaks, yeah. 77 Oaks, the 1977 Oaks.
Yeah.
The answer, of course, was the mighty La Mer.
Yeah.
How many got that one right?
7. So 7 Dog Field. Give me a number.
We'll go the Blue Rug, number 4.
Blue Rug. Colin V. I think he's won before. But good on you, Colin. I'll post your bet probably tonight, Friday night, and see if we can get up. Bruce R. We had a multi with Coventina Bay into that gunner for a place. Saturday.
That gunner Lana cord.
Yeah, well, Lana cord was a good run, wasn't it? Yeah,
that was nice place money. No, that's the way it goes. I'm sure Bruce will forgive you for that. Hey, just before we do next week's question, Neil, let's dovetail in and bring forward our walk down memory lane and just touch a bit more on La Mer.
Yeah.
Just before my time, I don't recall her racing. I don't remember her, but she's an amazing horse. Looks like she won 24 out of 34 starts and only 2 seconds and 2/3. So you could say she was a winner That's for sure.
Oh, she was. I was in my teens when she was winning it. I just remember her flashing down the outside, or just being just incredibly fast mare, filly and mare. And I'd love to have done her sectionals in those days. In fact, I could still do a sectionals off YouTube. I might do those actually for a couple of races. See, but no, she was terrific.
Yeah, won the filly of the year in 1977, the horse of the year in 1979 when she won the Air New Zealand Stakes, ran second
Remember
in
that?
the McKinnon Stakes.
June.
Won an Awapuni Gold Cup, the Ormond Memorial twice, which is, I guess, what we call the kilt or the Livermore these days. Won the Sires Produce at Awapuni as a 2-year-old.
Remember that?
So, yeah.
She was brilliant.
Not a bad horse, actually.
Yeah. She reminds, Travelling Light reminds me in looks. Maybe that's a name in for tomorrow, Travelling Light. But she was a chestnut, and she had 2 white feet or 1 white foot or something.
Yes, chestnut. Yeah, Malcolm Smith did the training.
Yeah.
So I guess he trained at Fielding, or was she trained at Awapuni? Do you know?
Woodville, I think.
Was it?
Malcolm Smith, Woodville. Awapuni, around there somewhere. CD somewhere.
Yeah. And of course, the main lounge at New Plymouth Raceway is called the Lamur Lounge. So
yeah, great. Yeah. It's good. No, she was terrific. Me and as you're growing up, you've got horses like Lamur, Kiwi Can, Tudor Light. It's just a great era of racing. And that's what really got in racing, those great horses, really champion horses, which we don't see too often. But thanks to Te Akau, we do keep those top quality horses, and we see them racing like Amaralina and Te Akau, Shark and everything, those kind of horses who can run amazing sections. So, yeah, it's great area.
Do you think it's just because we're getting old, Neil, and we're a bit more blasé about things? But, you know, if we were only 16, 18, 20, we might look at Melody Bell and Probabile as horses in the same ilk as Kiwi Cans and Lamurs, do you think?
I think you would. And I like Melody Bell, 14 Group 1 wins, and Te Akau Shark just winning in Australia and here, and sort of horse won in Australia.
Probabile.
Those sort of horses, guys growing up now, who are in their teens and early 20s, guys from Boys Get Paid, they'll be seeing these horses and they'll remember them the rest of their lives, and they'll be talking about those in 30, 40 years' time too, I presume. So that's, I think you're right, yeah. Anyway, so I'll have another horse next week. We're walking down memory lane, but it's good to reminisce on these top horses and not to forget about them.
So let's just quickly do the question for next week's multi Easter prize for someone, if they can tell us the Ultimate Mazda Japan Trophy on Saturday, what number edition is it? So how many races has that race been run for in the past? I'll give you a clue. It's a reasonably significant milestone / number on Saturday. So if you know the answer, text or email that through to Neil by Tuesday night.
Yep, 027 352 6402 or formpro@formpro.co.nz. And you're going for that multi-selection, that Colin V one this week. Okay. Now, quick bats and bouquets. What do you got up?
Yeah, we'll just touch on a couple of, I'll incorporate these into that segment. So fixed odds exotics, trifectas, etc. No deduction is set for if a favourite gets scratched, although I have been told the TAB do reserve the right to make significant deductions or void bets if a $1.10 favourite sort of gets scratched at the barrier. But basically, the general principle is that there is no deduction. So if you are seeing the favourite being vet checked around at the barrier before the start, it might be, and looks like it might be getting late scratched, and you can get your fixed odds exotic bet on prior to, it's probably potentially creates a bit of a value proposition there. So
Yeah.
that's that one. And I think 2 weeks ago, we talked about the going stick readings. And
Yep.
so where are these at? They are still in the pipeline. They're just a few of the tracks just getting their going sticks calibrated, and they're wanting to make sure they're consistent. So the readings are consistent across all different tracks, the tracks that have the going sticks. So I think that should be hopefully happening within the next 3 to 6 weeks. We should see those readings getting published once everything is sort of in order and it's deemed to be consistent and across all the tracks. So that's the feedback on those two. I think you've got a bouquet for one of the up and coming commentators in New Zealand.
Yeah, I think I've mentioned it before, but Justin Evans, he's a terrific caller. He's got a really good feel for a race, mainly because I think he's a punter. Well, I think all the commentators are punters, but he's a punter, although they shouldn't be. I know most commentators have a contract clause, don't they, where they can't punt, but I suppose.
No, I don't. I think they're allowed to bet.
Yeah, that's good. No, he knows his horses. He calls them really accurately. He has a really good feel for the tempo of the races. So I do all the sectionals, obviously, and I rely on their calls to initially identify the horses. And he really makes a mistake. In fact, our commentators do really make mistakes. So it's just really top class commentators. But and he keeps an eye on the favourites. So if listening on the radio or on the road, not the radio, the Rover app, you can hear where your horse is. And we'd like to have commentators like him in our country. So well done, Justin.
Yeah, he learned from the best under the tutelage of one Tony Lee, and went away, did a bit of radio work for maybe 15 odd years. He didn't call a race for 15 years or a trial, and then got back into it. Loves it, very passionate. Even just got a share in a greyhound, would you believe, Neil? A greyhound that I'm sure he's looking forward to calling in a year or so's time. So it'll be interesting when he calls his own greyhound home.
Yeah. So that'll be racing down south because he seems to be doing all the.
Yeah, I think it's trained down in Invercargill, I think.
Yeah.
Astro. I don't know if that's its race name or if that's its pet name, but I think it might be its race name. So one to look out for.
Yeah, it'll be Super Astro when he wins. Look out, there's Astro flying. Yeah, it's Astro. That's really interesting. Did we mention the trackside radio maybe coming back last week, didn't we, with the sports radio?
I don't know if we did or not, but it won't be trackside radio like we know it in the sense of race commentaries. I think it'll be like the morning show when they used to have, remember back in the old days of, what was it, Dean Lonergan, Ian Smith, Nathan Rarity, sort of talk sport with a little bit of racing thrown in. So I think it'll be more a sports station with a bit of racing, but it won't be wall-to-wall racing after 12 o'clock sort of thing with commentary. So, but still, something's better than nothing, and I'm looking forward to that rolling out when they get everything in order and having Brendan McCullum at the helm, which dovetails very nicely, Neil, into another little thing we're doing.
Of course, yes. Yes, looking forward to this next week. So listen out, viewers, because this is really worthwhile bidding for.
You got your race form from this week. You can turn to page number, where is it? Page 10. And there's some information about some celebrity lunches and dinners that the Jockeys Association are putting up to raise money for the New Zealand Horse Ambulance Trust. They're looking for a new horse ambulance to complete the fleet, so to speak. And I think we saw the horse ambulance in operation at Pukekohe on Wednesday when a horse got loose and did itself a bit of mischief, and the horse ambulance was there to take care of that horse. And so it's a vital piece of the industry, and horse welfare is something that I think everyone in the industry holds very dearly to their hearts. So the Jockeys Association came up with an idea to raise some money by auctioning off some celebrity lunches. So we've got Brendan McCullum and Stephen Marsh. You can, if you're the highest bidder, you and a guest get to go to lunch with those two esteemed gentlemen at a very nice restaurant in Cambridge called Alpino. We've got Luke Kemmy's Ben Masters from Boys Get Paid and Opie Bossum at Valare in Auckland. We've got
Great.
this one will be popular with some of the boys. Danielle Johnson and Sam Collett at Osteria in Matamata.
Yeah.
That'll be a good lunch. Chris Johnson, Sam Wynn, and Tina Komagnagi down at Lone Star in Riccarton.
Great.
John O'Benna and Lisa Allpress at Ridges in Wellington. And the one that I think might go for the most, just quietly, Neil.
Yeah.
Palmerston North, a very good restaurant called The Fat Farmer, won Kevin Myers and Tony Lee to entertain you at dinner in Palmerston North on one night. So those will all be up on Gavel House next Tuesday to bid on, closing the following Monday, Easter Monday. So if you always wanted to have a lunch or a meal with one of your racing heroes, and you might have won a bit of coin lately and you want to help a good cause, then bid up, and I'm sure you'll enjoy your time with the celebrities and you'll get some good stories told to you on picking.
Yeah, no, true, right. That's really worthwhile bidding for. I know I was speaking to a woman just last week, actually, and she said the last time she went to the races, which was a few years ago, a horse had to be euthanized, and it was just stuck in the back of a tractor and taken away. And she said that was just a terrible sight. So having the horse ambulance is great for improving the image of racing. So we've got to have it for the welfare of everybody. So,
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. You know, it creates that bit of privacy, and it allows horses, they get that attention straight away, and hopefully can just get them back to recovery and lengthen their lives, so they don't need to be put down on the day if it all can be avoided. So yeah, the horse ambulance, good cause, and great to see so many businesses, studs, and people getting in behind the cause. So it's a bit of fun, and the Jockeys Association will donate $10,000 as well to the cause. And there is also, actually, I forgot, a signed set of breeches from Hugh Bowman when he was riding Winx, signed by Hugh and Chris Waller. So if you like your racing memorabilia, it doesn't come much better than that.
Yeah.
So that will also be up for auction as well at the same time.
That's brilliant. Okay. And maybe next week we can touch on the Jockeys Association. I know you're involved with that now, so that'd be good to learn a bit more about and what's involved there. So
no problem.
On that next week. Great. Okay. Right, everybody. Looking forward to seeing Opie Bossing getting caught at least 3, maybe 4 wide into the first bend on Saturday. And everyone have a good day of punting and make plenty of money.